and welcome to the Hoop Collective podcast. We talk about the NBA, which we are doing today in our annual wins pool. Dun, 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 which I have never won and is also a snake draft, so I'm in really big trouble. Our reigning champion from last season. I believe MacMahon won 2 years ago.
He did.
I know who didn't win. It was me. Our reigning champion is joining us, believe it or not, from New York City. We haven't seen him in New York City in weeks. Tim Bontemps.
Hello, everybody. It's nice to be back in New York City for a moment. It's a beautiful summer, beautiful fall day, I should say. Nice 75-degree sunny day.
Joining us from Dallas, Texas, where he slunk away after drafting the Milwaukee Bucks with the number 1 overall pick last year, is Ben MacMahon.
Howdy, partners. It's good to be back. Glad my suspension's over. Wendy took it awfully personally that I called his first pitch a bounce pass and had to spend a week away from the pod, but here I am, baby.
It was, it was a skip pass. Skip pass has a certain value. If sometimes you throw the ball in the dirt on purpose. That's a skill that you learn. You need to skip it in there. You don't bounce it 8 feet in front of the plate. You get the guy to swing at it. I was happy there was like 6 ceremonial first pitches, including a robot, and I was the last one. And I was just glad that the catcher was able to handle the pitch in the dirt. It didn't go all the way to the backstop. All right. As the reigning champion, Tim Bontemps has the choice of either taking the first pick or taking the tail of the snake and getting picks 3 and 4. Mr. Bontemps, your selection, your choice forever, which one you'd like to go with.
There's obviously some strategy here, which way to go. I'm going to take the first pick because I like the certainty. Tim made a joke earlier about how he wouldn't take the Milwaukee Bucks first. Felt very good about that last year. We'll see if I'm right with how I feel about the certainty here, but I'm going to take the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Oh, wow.
First pick.
That's interesting.
I think the Thunder, I've said this, we've talked about this earlier this summer. I think the gap between the Thunder and the top of the West is bigger than the gap between Boston and the top of the East, in part because of the injury question in Boston. Kristaps Porzingis going to be out at least the first couple months of the season. When he comes back, obviously going to be a bit of a slow ramp up for him. Al Horford, age 38 season, probably going to miss a bunch of games. The Celtics had a ton of injury health luck last year. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday, Derek White basically never missed any time. Obviously, they're durable, healthy players. Fair to expect them to be healthy, but I just think if you're betting on one team to have the best record or a super high finish in this thing, I'm going to take the Thunder and the improvements they made, getting Isaiah Hartenstein, getting Alex Caruso, obviously Shai Gilgeous-Alexander right there with Luka, the top of the MVP race this year, probably going into the season. So went back and forth on it for the last minute before you came to me officially, but I'm going to stick with taking the first pick, taking the Thunder first overall.
Yeah, I heard you say that on NBA Today that you think that the gap between Oklahoma City and the rest of the West is bigger than Boston. I don't vigorously disagree with that, but Boston pretty much lapped the field.
Part of it comes down to the health component.
But we're not going to know the health. I mean, we know Porzingis, but
that's what I mean. We already know right off the jump. We know that Porzingis is going to miss the first 2 months of the season before anything else happens.
Well, I'll very gladly take the Celtics, who won 64 games last year, and I agree.
Why do you get to go second?
No. Why don't I get to go second? You had option. You were in third place last year, MacMahon.
EMW.
No. You were in third place last year.
Wait, I was third last year?
No. That we're gonna go to the videotape here. Last year, I finished in first. I had 436 total wins. Tim MacMahon was second with 398 wins.
Well, ain't that
Brian Windhorst was third with 397 wins. The real truth here, MacMahon. Real truth here, MacMahon. As you know, what really is going on here is Windhorst doesn't want to do the snake draft.
That is true. No, that's true. But I just said a second ago that MacMahon finished third, and you didn't dispute that.
Oh,
he wasn't listening.
You said he won the year before. You said he won the year before, and I said that is correct.
All right, I don't want to.
Hold on. I also wanted to point out that as Wendy was giving you your options, he correctly said option 2 was picks 3 and 4. Wendy showed some comprehension of the snake draft concept.
Well,
Not
I
just-
got the
got
start of the
snake
snake draft. It's the
whole
it's the
thing.
rest of the snake draft that I
So
don't like.
McMahon, do you want the second pick or do you
Yes.
want
Well, wait a
fourth
minute.
picks?
Wait a minute. We got to decide. I guess
we don't
by
got
my
to decide.
math-
That's the math is the math.
God damn it. You guys are just going to make, I'm just going to screw this up. I just want you to know I'm just going to screw this up.
That's why look at his little 3-point line. He plays the high school 3-point line. We're in the NBA, buddy.
It's also a
NBA
crooked
math.
3-point line that's like oblong on the one side.
It's artfully tilted.
It's a little
It's artfully tilted.
Yeah, it's artfully oblong.
So we've not decided, but correctly appointed me as the person with the number 2 overall pick.
You want it, it's your choice.
Yes,
What do you want?
Absolutely.
Okay, there you go. So who you
We
take?
all know how much I believe in Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics, baby. 64 wins last year. Not sure they'll get 64, but they're going to be high 50s, low 60s. This is a Tatum vengeance season, which is strange coming off of a championship and a gold medal. But, you know, the Team USA thing kind of went sideways, and he's got a little vinegar in his system, I think, at this point. So I'm righting my wrong from last year and taking the Celtics with my first pick.
So do I always follow McMahon? Is that what I'm going to
No,
do?
I will tell you when you pick twice in a row. And
Oh,
whenever you
dear.
pick twice in a row. How's that? Very simple.
Yes,
We
Joe.
specifically decided at the start of this that I was not going to be on the snake.
Well, guess what?
Tough.
You're on the snake.
Figure it
and you
out.
Pick twice in a row. So now you're up for 2 picks. So there you go.
Also,
Take your pick.
can I just say something? Like, why is Jason Tatum so aggrieved? Why is he so aggrieved? He did not play great in the finals. He
Because
played
he has
well.
an
He did not
Instagram
play great.
account. He has an
He got
Instagram
the-
account.
He got the championship trophy. Then he got $300 million. Then he did not play great in the Olympics, and he was benched for 2 games when his team won those games, and then he won the gold medal. Where is the aggrieved party?
Listen, if the man with the biggest contract in NBA history and going to get his ring on ring night, if he wants to have a chip on his shoulder, I say more power to him. And I do think that the Celtics and Jason Tatum are going to win 60-ish games this year.
People have, for the history of the league, found imaginary ways to engender animosity towards the upcoming season to give them motivation. Jason Tatum doing this is no different than, Michael Jordan and LeBron and all these other. I'm not putting him in that category. I'm just saying, but all sorts of people in the past who've made up reasons to hate people and have motivation for the new season. So that's all that's going on.
By the way, real quick, one reason to think the Celtics could finish with more wins than the Thunder, let's say those are the top 2 seeds in each conference. There's a lot more tankers in the East. A lot more.
No, yeah. Listen, if you told me that Boston has more wins, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm betting on the certainty. I feel like I feel really confident Oklahoma City is going to have with the best record in the West. And if you have the best record in the West, you're probably going to have a lot of wins. So we'll go with that. But we'll see. All right. So Brian, now you get 2 picks in a row. And the next time you pick again, several picks, you'll get another 2 picks.
I know that. I
That's
just don't know when it is.
We'll let you know when you're up.
I'll tell you. I'll say you're up.
All right. I'm taking the Wolves. I don't agree that there's this big gap between the Wolves and the Thunder. The Wolves won a ton of games last year. They defend. I know that they lost some role players, but they're.
You could argue they got a little worse, and I don't think anybody would argue the Thunder got better, right?
Yeah, but you're saying that the gap is so big. I just don't think the gap is that big.
I'm not saying it's 20 games.
Bontemps also tried to, in the West Tiers pod, we spent about 10 minutes arguing about whether the Thunder were on the
I'm sticking
Bricktown.
Hey, listen,
Big Rich will already give you free drinks, dude.
Hey, I'm just sticking with what I have said before, which is I did have the Thunder in their own tier. I think they're going to have to be the best regular season team in the league this year. And we'll see what happens in the playoffs.
All right. I'm taking
Minnesota.
I'm taking the Minnesota Timberwolves because I think that they'll defend and that, maybe they had some swap out some role players, but that their top line players are really good. And in some cases, I think still getting better. With the 4th pick, I'm taking a strategy move. I'm taking the Knicks because I know that Tibbs will play to win every game. I know that a number of their players are well known for playing just about every game. I know that OG Anunoby is not one of them, but they have good wing depth, and I know that Tibbs is going to play every game. Plus, I expect the competition between spots 2, 3, 4, and even 5 to be very tight in the East, and there to be high incentive to keep the gas down for the whole season. So while I don't think the Knicks are necessarily the fourth best team, I like their chances of grinding out every single victory. So that's what I'm going with the fourth pick.
Very interesting. And so I thought I might have the Knicks to choose from here. I thought I was going to be choosing. Okay, now I'm gonna choose between one of the other two Tier 1 West teams, and just so I don't have to listen to a bunch of whining from my neighbor, I'm going to take the Mavericks over the Nuggets. 50 wins last year for the Mavericks. Obviously, that was getting off to a slow start. The wild card is going to be obviously how many games does Kyrie play? Clay's fit, the defense, but a healthy Luka, an improved Lively. I think it's going to be a top 2 or 3 offense in the league. I think they'll win 50 some odd games.
Totally fair. This gets pretty easy for me. I'm going to take the Nuggets 6th. We have a lot of questions about the Nuggets, obviously. However, they still have Nikola Jokic on the team. He never gets hurt. And I think it's hard for me to see them winning less than 50 games with Nikola Jokic on the team. And the biggest thing you want to try to do in these things is to not have misses at the top. So I'll take the Nuggets with some certainty that they're going to be in the mix in the 50-win range. And then I'll take Philly with the other pick. The Sixers were a borderline 50-win team last year with Joel playing 30 games, and they swapped out Tobias Harris for Paul George. Like, they should be a better team this year. So I think Tyrese Maxey is going to take another leap. Would not surprise me if he's an All-NBA candidate this year. They still have the ability to add in the trade market. They got KG Martin as a walk-in trade exception. They're probably going to add some more size on the front court if they can. So I will take Philly there and get both of the MVP centers on one team in the wins pool, so people will not complain to me about going one way or the other. And now, Brian, it's back to MacMahon again for another pick, and then you get 2.
God,
it's very simple.
Wait, why did you get 2 there?
Because he's on one end and you're on one end. So every time you guys go, you get 2.
That's right.
I get 1 in the middle.
Every time we go, we get 2?
Every time. Now, not me. I'm in the middle. I get 1 at a time.
I don't know if this is a bit or are you playing
a flawed system.
I don't know if it's a bit or you playing along, but if it's not a bit,
honestly,
I got some concerns.
I swear to God.
Do we have any math teachers at St. Vincent, St. Mary's?
I know. Well, first off, I was terrible at math, obviously. Secondly, I didn't remember that other people besides me got more than they got other 2 picks in a row. Do you get 2 picks in a row at some point?
No, he picks in the middle every time.
I'm in the middle.
I hope this is a bit. That's all I'm going to say.
When you guys is done, I get a pick. Every time it goes to you, you get 2. I'm in the middle.
I hope it's a bit. That's all I'm going to say.
We're all going to end up with 10 picks at the end.
That's right.
Okay, so here we go. Obviously, my monumental mistake last year was I was way too high on the Milwaukee Bucks overall. At this point in the draft, I think is a very reasonable spot to take the Bucks, who won 49 games last year. It wasn't a smooth transition for Dame. I anticipate he'll be better this year. Doc doesn't have the excuse, I took this job nobody wanted in the middle of the season, like he was forced to do it. So, no. And obviously, Giannis is an MVP candidate, so perennial MVP candidate. So, good spot here for the bounce back Milwaukee Bucks.
All right, that's not a bad pick. So my strategy coming into this is to go as East and as young as I can.
Well, listen, we can write in, I believe, the next pick, Ben.
But I get 2 picks.
Yes, I know, but I think I know what the first one's going to be.
Yeah, I'm going East and young. I'm going Cleveland Cavs.
Cavs corner.
And considering my other option here is really kind of the Suns, that goes against East and young. That's the exact opposite of East. And the reason I want young is I want less injuries.
Mm-hmm.
So even though I like the Suns and I like them better than
you are the one who's delusionally acted like the injury sliders will be turned off. So you might as well take the Suns and double down on.
No, I'm not. I'm going to take the Magic.
Oh, wow. Faint.
The Fighting Mosleys.
I had the Suns written in.
Listen, Magic are an interesting pick there. 47 wins last year.
I like the Magic pick there a lot, actually.
Championship players, KCP. you hope Franz and Paulo and Suggs, for that matter, continued, developing and advancing. I like that pick.
I like the pick there a lot. It's a very good pick.
I would have taken Phoenix, and I will.
Well, there you go. All right. Everybody's happy.
49 wins last year. Obviously, we don't know what the hell's going to look like. And you can say they had bad health luck last year, but KD played a bunch of games. But they have a point guard this year. They have 2 point guards this year. I thought Vogel got too much blame, so I'm not going to get into Bud's going to save the ship, but I think they can have 49 plus at least again.
Yeah, so now I'm in a very interesting spot.
Wait your turn, Wendy.
Yes, I get to pick twice. And trying to decide what way to go here. There's a whole glut of interesting West teams to try to choose from. You're doing a little bit of roulette on how that's going to go. Then there's the Pacers sitting there in the East. Maybe the Heat. I am going to go. I'm going to double down on something else I've said. I'm going to take the Golden State Warriors. I think that Mike Dunleavy had a really good summer. I think they got deeper. I think they got better overall, despite the fact that they lost Clay. So I will take them here. And then
just take the Lakers.
I'm not taking the Lakers. I'm trying to decide between.
He won't take the Lakers until like 28.
No, I wouldn't go that far, but I'm
22.
I have real reservations about the Pacers, like we've talked about recently on the pod. So I'm going to hold off on them. I'm trying to decide between the Pelicans and the Kings. You know what? I'm going to take the Pelicans. I think they've got the most interesting lineup in the league this year with DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, and Zion Williamson. I think if they're healthy, I think that seems like it's going to be their starting 5. I'm fascinated to see how it looks. And, DeJounte coming in, it's an interesting trade. They had 49 wins last year. I'm going to take the Pelicans, and very, very risky couple picks there, but we'll see how it goes.
Who needs centers? All right.
I am going East and Young.
And you're also going to wait your turn because I have this pick.
Oh, I thought it was my turn again.
Yeah. So but you can go East and Young because I'm going West and Young. And I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies.
That's a good pick.
I forgot about Memphis. I would have taken them there. Oh, it's killing me.
Standings. You were looking at the standings.
I know. I wasn't thinking.
That's what I was going to take, other than going East and Young.
Memphis is great. That's a great.
Obviously, last year was a completely lost season for them. That lost season resulted in a lottery pick.
Yeah.
We will see how soon for Zach Edey, but that Ja, Bain, Jaren Jackson Jr. trio is proven to be a 50-plus win trio when they're all healthy. And so knock on wood that they got all the medical / et cetera. I guess you can't / et cetera, medical, et cetera, stuff out of the way last season. And those guys will play, 70-plus games each and win a large majority of those.
I'm really mad I didn't think about Memphis. I really like that pick.
Yeah, and you were looking at the standings there, and I just wasn't thinking. He was so focused on scrolling past the Lakers in the standings that he forgot.
Memphis is farther past the Lakers than that. They're way down.
Yeah,
they're way down the standings.
He was looking in that play-in territory.
Just
the Lakers.
I'm fascinated by Zach Edey. He looks great this summer. I'm super excited to see what Memphis looks like. I really like the pick there. Now Brian gets picked 2 times.
I swear to God, I was not screwing around. I was about to take this team I'm about to take and Memphis. I don't know why this is a block for me, but it's a huge problem, this whole snake thing. I swear to God, I'm not messing around. And next time, I always get the second pick. From now on, the second pick is where I'm going to be.
No, you don't. Goes by who gets the most right. The year before,
win some games.
I'm going East and Young, and I'm taking the Pacers.
All right.
That's fine.
And then MacMahon, I'm trying to force Bontemps into taking the Lakers. So the Kings won 46 games last year, and they added DeMar DeRozan.
No, the Kings are the right pick there, I think. Because again, regular season wise, their ceiling I think is pretty high. Playoff wise, I'd say their ceiling's fairly low. But they should win a lot of regular season games with DeMar, Domantas Sabonis, and De'Aaron Fox.
Now does MacMahon go again?
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
All right, listen, I'll take the Lakers. I mean, they had two of Team USA's what, 5 or 6 best players.
I would say
Uh,
four, two of their best four.
they've got our former colleague JJ Reddick. Got a lot of confidence in him. Always enjoyed his podcasting work. And I've been told that Austin Reeves is some kind of ascending superstar. So I'll go with him and hope they can flip D'Angelo Russell at some point
But
this.
by the way, we need to sort of retire the phrase ascending superstar. We say it too many times.
Well, but
Even if we're talking about guys who are ascending superstars, there was a pod a few weeks ago where all of us said it twice. So we're gonna ban the phrase ascending superstar until the start of the regular season.
We should ban the word superstar because the word superstar is used too often. Period.
That's also fair.
Well, I tell you what, we had some internal things this week that were, something about superstar, and there were guys who hadn't been all-stars on that list. I'm like, okay, now.
I might have been in the office in LA this week. It said we should maybe change the name of this file. But
well, we did, by the way, we did have we're taping this as you listen to this. I'm on vacation.
Oh, wow, fancy.
So we taped this in advance. So we kind of got caught a little bit in timing a little bit at this part of the schedule. So even though this will have happened a while ago,
did we get caught in timing, MacMahon, or did some people just need to take some time off?
Where are you going, Wendy?
Yeah, I think I've earned it.
Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be overseas.
Where?
Playing golf.
That's not a destination. That's an activity.
In the British Isles.
Also not a sport.
I'm not arguing that. Anyway, you mentioned superstar internally at ESPN. Hat tip to our superstar, Adrian Wojnarowski. Everything can be said about him is said about him, but I didn't want the way the pods fell this week. It would have felt like we didn't acknowledge that. So even though this timing is going to sound weird to the listener, it just happened to us yesterday. So thank you for everything, Woj. It doesn't have to be a big tribute because they'll be hearing this. It'll be a week old, but we've already said privately what needed to be said. Okay. Who's up?
By the way, by far the smartest man I've ever met from St. Bonaventure.
I would agree with that, given he's completely redefined the business and is the greatest to ever do it. So
maybe the only smart person I've ever met from St. Bonaventure.
He's a hell of a lot smarter than me, that's for sure. Including,
by the way, St. Bonaventure is playing Kent State,
retiring to just chill and watch basketball and hang out. So
wait,
I think these scrimmages are secret, so I'm not allowed to say what date it is, but there's a day in October when St. Bonaventure is playing Kent State in a scrimmage at Kent State. And don't expect the Flashes to go easy on the Bulldogs.
I thought that Kent State's football program scheduled St. Bonaventure's team just to try to get a win.
Well, we are undefeated in football in 70 years at Bonaventure. 70 years of undefeated football. So we're
Kent and St. Bonnie's have the same amount of football wins this year, and it might stay that way for quite some time.
Oh God! But we were in Akron the other night. MacMahon and I were hanging out with the IT department, and we were watching the Kent State Tennessee game, and it was.
I mean, it was on a TV, and we kind of kept looking over. Then at one point, it was like 65-0.
Had to keep doing this, going ooh. It was kind of like the MacMahon taking on the 6-year-old approach. We're gonna make sure that we win every time.
Well, the bad news was it was 71-0. The good news was that it was 68-0 early in the third quarter, and the Vols called off the Dogs.
It was 65-0 at halftime. And when we got in the car after the Rubber Ducks game, MacMahon pulls up the box score and goes, "Holy God, they have negative yards at the end of the first quarter."
The yardage in the quarter was like 300-something and negative something.
It was like 35-0 with negative 30 total yards. Like, how is this possible? What is happening?
Yeah, it's not going well.
Unbelievable.
And that's our
anyway.
Football coverage.
Congrats to Adrian, and I'm excited to see what happens with the Bonds. Back to the draft. Hard pivot. I will take the Miami Heat with one of my 2 picks. We will see. What happens with Jimmy Butler. I think that's going to be a situation to monitor this year. He's going into potentially the final year of his contract. The Heat have made the conference finals or finals 3 of the last 5 years, and they've been a team that didn't have home court advantage in the first round of the playoffs in 4 of the last 5 years. Very hard team to square. Sort of the Jamal Murray of teams, maybe is a good way to look at them. So curious to see what their season looks like. But we've talked a lot about how there's kind of a line of demarcation in the East. I think, the Heat are probably going to win a bunch of games more than their counterparts in the West for the reason MacMahon mentioned earlier about the bunch of teams at the bottom of the East that are going to be pretty competitively trying to lose games. And then my choice in the West comes down to, I think, another MacMahon team, the Houston Rockets or the Clippers. And I think I'm going to go with the Rockets.
Oh,
I'll take a swing on youth, to Brian's point. Rockets have a ton of depth. They've got a lot of picks they can move if there's a potential trade that comes available. They got some salaries that they can move. We'll see what happens with the extension with Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün. If that gets done over the next month or not, we've talked about that before, but had a nice close to the year. And, at this point, I'm trying to think. I don't think I missed any of these teams. Yeah, so it's one of those two, and I'll bet on the youth of the Rockets and against the injury luck of the Clippers.
all right. Well, I'll go double up on the LA teams. I'll take the Clippers. And what is this, the 20th team? I'm trying to count how many teams in the West. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That's 11.
6. Boy, tell you what, if the Clippers end up 11th in the West, you will hear some celebrating in Bricktown. The old Tipsy Tiki will be busy that night. But I mean, it's a pretty likely scenario. The one thing about the Clippers, though, because of what I just said, there ain't going to be any funny business in terms of Tankapalooza. They obviously have all the organizational motivation in the world to win as many games as possible.
Tie loose, declared we're going to shock the world. That's prove everybody wrong.
That's fine. And I'll benefit if they do. It's going to be tough in the West, and they've already delivered one lottery pick to Oklahoma City. Old J-Dub's looking pretty good in that Thunder lineup. It would be something else if they deliver a second with more draft capital to come.
We've talked about it. James Harden, one of the most interesting players to me in the league this year. He's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. It's like, can the old James Harden show up and really deliver? If he can, this pick's going to look really good, because if he could play anything like that, they're probably going to be in the mix in the top 6 or for it. If he can't, Kawhi has injuries, then there's a very good chance they're 11th. So it's going to be interesting. But now, Brian, 2 more picks in a row.
Going east.
Here we go.
Kind of young. The Hawks of Atlanta.
Oh, another team that's got all the motivation.
Can't tank.
Yes.
Can't tank.
I like the pick.
And then I'm going west and young. You know where I'm going.
Oh,
of course.
Be there for
of course. I can write it in right now.
You know where I'm going.
Take the over, baby.
There is no ceiling.
I-35.
Well, look, this is great because per usual, it can be you two against me. So I'll be on the negative side, and you two will be over there with the pom-poms, black and silver pom-poms. It's just going to make for good pod content.
I didn't consider this when making this pick, MacMahon, but I guess I have to be on your side on those victories for the San Antonio
Spurs. You weren't going to be on MacMahon's side already. Come on, we know where that was going to go.
USWB, it doesn't stand in this case.
We do not put limits on Victor Wembanyama.
In this case, it's urine-soaked, whiny.
There's no whining.
Baby.
What are you doing? I'm not whining at all. It's going to make
baby.
The whole point of this is going to be good content that all year we're going to be talking about whether the Spurs win 36 games or not.
That's you two against me, as per usual. Oh.
Well, yeah, my point was trying to make a joke that to educate you bozos all the time. So there you go. That was went right over your head, though.
Bozo, didn't go over my head. Bozo, another good B word.
That's true.
All right, back to me.
Back to you.
I thought I had the Spurs.
I was thinking it. But I should have known Brian wouldn't let Victor get by him.
You knew that. I was going to take the Grizzlies too. If I could have figured out the snake draft, I would have gotten them.
Well, I tell you, we are going to go with the team that isn't smart enough to tank.
We're taking the Bulls.
Chicago Bulls, baby. Josh Giddey, triple-double machine this year? Maybe so. I think they'll win 30 some odd games. He'll win too many games for their own good.
I did not think you were taking the Bulls. I thought I was going to be stuck with them here on the wrap. I'm going to take the team that I think is going to be ahead of them in the East, in the play-in ahead of them, the Toronto Raptors. Got Scotty Barnes, man, who quickly re-signed RJ Barrett. I think they're going to be trying to be competitive, at least to some degree. I mean, if they have injuries, maybe that'll change, but I think they've got a better squad at this point than Chicago. But I mean, again, they're going to be fighting for 10th probably in the East. And then at this point, I think you're really only choosing between to me, it's probably the Jazz or the Hornets. I'm going to take the Hornets with LaMelo Ball, with Brandon Miller. Got Charles Lee. Excited for him to get a chance to coach a team. Obviously, helped the Celtics win a title, helped the Bucks win a title. Assistant before that was with the Celtics last year under Joe Mazzulla. If Mark Williams can come back and actually play this year, missed a bunch of time with a back injury last year, there's at least some upside there. And I think if they get off to a good start, I could see a world where they're competing for a play-in spot, at least more so than these other East teams and probably more so than the other West teams. But this is the definition of a crapshoot at this point.
Yes, and we have definitely reached the motivationally challenged portion of the draft here. I'll take Utah. I don't think we need to do a whole lot of analysis at this point. We know they're all tanking.
Yes. So now, Brian, you get to pick twice.
Two tankers. This
is really rough. So I don't want to take Brooklyn because they are, God knows what they're going to be, but they've got more talent than Washington. And all right, I'm going to take Detroit just because of all these teams. They probably have the most talent on their roster.
I would definitely take Detroit over these other teams. There's a chance Detroit is in the play-in mix. I don't think that's happening, but like if you told me they're competing with Toronto and Chicago and Charlotte for 10th, I could see that. Especially if Cade Cunningham is healthy and takes a leap. And I mean, Tobias Harris, I think, will help them. They added some shooting this summer. I think they're going to win more games.
I just don't have any faith in Portland, but I guess if I'm looking at the rosters and I just think the Nets are going to tank, they're going to trade more guys off. I guess I'll take Portland.
I mean, like at this point, you don't have faith in anybody, dude.
That's true.
Yes.
That was pick 28. Here's 29. Yes. I'll leave the Wizards for Bontemps, and I will take
the Nets.
Take the Nets.
Take the Nets, baby.
All right. So there you go. So you want me to read through who we have?
Go for it.
How many Eastern Conference teams do I have? Tell me at the end.
Okay, we'll start with Brian. Start with the host. So you have the Timberwolves, the Knicks, the Cavs, the Magic, the Pacers, the Kings, the Hawks, the Spurs, the Pistons, and the Blazers. So you have 6 Eastern Conference teams, but 4 of your first 5 picks were from the East and 5 of your first set. So you stuck to your guns on what you wanted to do.
That's right.
MacMahon wound up with the Celtics, the Mavs, the Bucks, the Suns, the Grizzlies, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Bulls, the Jazz, and the Nets. And I wound up with the Thunder, Nuggets, Sixers, Warriors, Pelicans, Heat, Rockets, Raptors, Hornets, and Wizards.
The Warriors are going to be a big swing team for you, Bontemps.
Yes, they will be.
Yes.
That was a big pick right there, buddy.
Yes. That will be and the Pelicans, both of them.
Yeah.
If they're both healthy, they could be really good, and they both could be 11th and 12th. Like, that's the thing with those teams. After the top 2 or 3 or 4 in the West, like, you can make an argument for any of them to be 5th and any of them to be 11th or 12th. Like, it's going to be fascinating to see how it all lands.
Hold on. Jackson did some math. Well, give us the math, Jackson. You did the total wins for our teams based on ESPN bet odds.
Look at that. So I'm first. You're second.
Strong and silent.
Oh, never mind. Incorrect. I'm first. Brian second.
So this is the ESPN bet over unders.
Going by the over unders.
Going by the over unders. Bontemps, his picks. ESPN bet has their over unders at a combined.
So I'm first. You're second.
Strong and silent.
Oh, never mind. Incorrect. I'm first. Brian second.
So this is the ESPN bet over unders.
Going by the over unders.
Going by the over unders. Bontemps. I've got 415.
I missed the
MacMahon 413.
I missed the great reveal. My thing froze up.
Oh, well, there it was. You just
What
got
happened?
revealed.
What happened?
Oh, you didn't hear what I just said?
No, I missed the
I guess you have to listen to the podcast.
You have to listen to the
Find
pod.
out.
The IT department will tell you. She listens.
I missed the ESPN bet. Hold on, are we done recording?
No, we're
Damn
still
right.
live. Well,
What
not
is
live.
going on?
Live to tape, baby.
What is
I
going
know,
on
my
right
thing
now?
froze up while Jackson was going to reveal the ESPN bet things. I missed it.
Yeah, so I had the most wins. Brian had the second most. You had the third most. All separated by 6 wins total. So it's all pretty much a
All
tie.
right. All right. What else did I miss?
But
That
you
was
did-
it.
That was it. What? You can't handle technology, and Brian can't handle math. We got a great pod going.
Dude, I got on. The thing froze up. It wasn't my fault.
It's amazing we get on the air at all a couple times.
That's true.
Thank God.
Thanks to
Thank God
Jackson.
for Jackson.
All right. Well, we'll see. Last year we didn't. Bontemps several times last year said, "Hey, let's update the wins pool," and I was like, "Nah." And then at the very end, he like threw it in. Meanwhile, he was trouncing us all the way along. So maybe we'll vow this year at some
Yeah, we can
point
do
to
it once a
check in
month.
on it.
We'll just check in.
There you
Will
go.
we allow mid-season trades?
Hmm.
No,
No,
no.
you're stuck.
Why would you do midseason? No,
I don't know.
Mid-season
I don't know. I'm just having fun. All right. Thank you for watching, listening to the Hoop Collective. Thank you to Bontemps McMahon. Thank you to Jackson, our producer. Media Day is next week.
Ooh,
So,
back to work we go.
guess so.
Back to work.
Talk to you soon.
Adios, amigos.